This is Kenya before, a land of rhythm and resilience, where the sun rose over bustling market and the children walked to school with dreams tucked in their backpacks, while the promises of tomorrow felt real. A country of innovation, youth, and who have hope. But this is the Kenya now. On June 25th, 2025, exactly it's been 1 year after the storming of Parliament, young Kenyans, mostly from Gen Z, returned to the streets. This time, the message was delivered through peaceful demonstration. Their goal was not just violence, but the visibility. Unlike the protest in 2024 that turned deadly after the introduction of controversial financial bill, this new wave of demonstration focused on government accountability and citizen dignity. Protesters marched through Nairobi carrying Kenyan flags and handmade signs voicing frustration over unemployment, rising of costs, and police brutality. Many of them spoke about a broken system that failed to deliver on promises made after the bill was developed last year. They emphasized that while the protests are loud, the intention remains non-violent. Most participants are unemployed graduates and young professionals who felt neglected by the current regime. The tone of the street was sober but determined. Protesters say their pain is deeper now, not just economic, but the emotion.
And we are here to fight this poor governance. The police are killing people. We are here to fight the killing of the people, the extrajudicial killing, the corrupt government. There's nothing we are getting absolutely out of this government. We are youths, but yet tunahangaika, tunateseka because we have to look for, lazima tutafute, unatafuta kitu hakuna, ukipata unanyang'anywa. So we are just fighting off this government. Hatutaki hata one term issue, it's just a half term.
They say they are tired of being ignored and criminalized for asking questions and seeking change. It is not just for the first time youth felt unheard, because in June 2024, the government introduced the financial bill, a proposal that sparked immediate concern across the country, especially among young citizens. The bill aimed to increase taxes on basic goods and services like bread, fuel, diapers, mobile money transaction, even digital content would become more expensive. For many, these were not optional expenses. They were part of daily life. And for families already struggling with unemployment and rising costs, the proposed change felt like a heavy burden. Gen Z, or Generation Z, the country's digital native youth, responded quickly. They organized through social medias. They shared graphics, talked in space, and planned peaceful protests. But what began as a call of fairness turned into something far more serious. Within days, demonstration grew. Young people took to the streets in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and other cities. Their chants were strong. Their sign directed no taxation without representation. Don't tax our dignity. They marched with hope but also frustration. Then, the parliament was breached. Hundreds of protesters entered in the building, making global headlines. It was a chaotic movement, a sign that trust between citizens and leaders had broken. Security forces responded with force. The tear gas filled the air. Rubber bullets were fired. Stun grenades were used. At least 60 people lost their lives. Many others were injured and others were arrested and later released. The streets were filled with grief and anger and confusion. President William Ruto voted that the financial bill on June 26, 2024, just 2 days after the DDRS crashes. He said he was listening, and he said the voice of young Kenyans mattered. For a moment, the protest slowed, but the feeling did not fade. Many questioned why it had reached such violence before action was taken. Families mourned the loved one. Activists demanded investigation into police conduct, and everyday Kenyans continued to ask, why are basic needs treated like luxuries? We need them. It is ours. Why is survival taxed? This was not just about the money. It was about the belonging. It was about being here. The finance bill was stopped, but the issue behind it remained. Why unemployment? Why costly health care? Why limited education access? In June 2025, Kenya was shaken by a death of a young teacher and blogger named Albert Ojwang. He was known only for speaking out, especially about the police conduct and government accountability. On June 7th, he was arrested at his family home in Homa Bay, reportedly for criticizing senior police officials on social media. He was transferred to Nairobi's Central Police Station. In less than 24 hours later, Albert was dead, and authorities initially claimed he had injured himself by hitting his head against a wall in his cell, but the independent autopsy told a different story. It revealed signs of blunt and neck compression, injuries that experts said do not have been self-inflicted. The news spread quickly. The video of mourners carrying his body through the streets went viral. His family, devastated, demanded answers, and his mama said he hadn't even finished his lunch before the police took him away. His wife recorded their last phone call, where the Albert says, "I love you. See you soon." He never came home. The thousands of young Kenyans, many from Gen Z, returned to the street. By this time, it wasn't about taxes or bills. It was about justice, about dignity, about the right to live without fear. Protesters carried signs with Albert's name. They marched to the police station in Homa Bay. Mourners set fire to the Mawego police station, where the Albert had first been held for. They said they were tired of silence and tired of excuses. The government responded. The President Ruto condemned the death and called for a transparent investigation. The Deputy Inspector of Police, Eliud Legati, stepped aside under pressure. 6 people, including senior officers, were charged with murder, but for many, the damage was already done. Albert's death became a symbol of something larger, a system that many young Kenyans felt does not protect them, a system that they push those who speak it out. This time, Gen Z just protesting policy. They were mourning appeal, demanding accountability, and asking a painful question. If asking the truth can cost your life, what kind of future is left? Just picture this. A young Kenyan graduate stands outside a government office. He holds his degree in a hand. He said, "My parents sold our land and they were believing in the education. They believed in me. But now I walk from office to office, hoping for a chance. And all I found are locked doors." Many of his peers dreams of starting a small business. Maybe some want to open a salon, or others have a mechanic shop. But there is no funding at all, no even access to credit, no guidance, even for the willing. One young woman says, "I just want to work, I don't want much, I want to help my mother and make a living for myself." But every time we try to speak, they send tear gas. Her eyes waters. These stories are real. They are told every day across Nairobi, Kisumu, and many other places. And while they may not always reach the headlines, they are shaping the spirit of generations. They are not asking for favors of what they have to be given. They are asking for fairness. In Kenya today, many young people feel stuck between education and survivals. They have been studying hard, in degrees, and follow the rules, but the system doesn't seem to be rewarding their effort. According to the reports, 67% of youth aged from 15 to 34 are unemployed. That means more than half of Kenyan young population is without work, despite being ready and willing to contribute. And even among those who do find jobs, only 1 in 100 secure formal employment. Most of these positions go to people with connections, maybe through families, politics, or even a privilege. For the average graduate, the path is unclear. They leave the school with hope, but they find no funding to start a business. They apply for jobs, but they hear nothing back. They try to speak, but they met with silence or force. Meanwhile, the cost of living continues to rise. The medicine is very expensive, and many families struggle to afford the basic health care. Schools are overcrowded with limited resources. Rent is rising, especially in urban areas, making it harder for young people to even live independently and keep living with their families even if they are older. This is Kenya now, a country full of potential but facing a serious challenge. A place where the young are asking not for handouts, but for fairness. They want to work, they want to breathe, but they need a system that gives them a chance. The second wave of protest began on June 9th, 2025. It's been now 26 days. The tear gas fills the air. Rubber bullets are flying. At least 20 people are dead. Over 500 people are injured. But the Gen Z stands firm. They say, "We are not afraid, we are just determined." President Ruto says, "You cannot insult or threaten the police. You are threatening our nation." He calls the protest a criminals. He ordered a crackdown, but he also said, "If you have a better plan, I'm ready to go." Some analysts believe that the current regime fears something deeper than just a protest. They say it fears revolution. President William Ruto's hesitation to fully engage with Kenya's Gen Z protesters seems to come from several complex reasons. Maybe political strategy or generational disconnect and concern about legitimacy. It's about maybe generational misunderstanding. Why? The government appears unsure how to respond to Gen Z's unique style of activism. They organize online and move quickly and reject traditional political structures because their protests are not led by politicians, but by hashtags, live streams, and shared frustration. These make it harder for administration to find any clear way to talk to them. Maybe it's about failed dialogue attempts. Why? Because President Ruto said he invited Gen Z to join the national conversation, including online forums like X Spaces, but he claims they refused, calling them faceless or formless. This created tension and they are feeling unheard. The government feel ignored. Maybe it's about security concern. Some officials have described the protest as politically driven or even something dangerous. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen called them attempted coup. This kind of language may explain why the government has responded with offense instead of dialogue. Maybe it's about political calculation. With election coming in 2027, Gen Z will be making up more than half of voters. Ruto's team may have been trying to balance its response, showing strength without losing support from other groups. It's about the delicate situation. Maybe it's about apology or against action, where the President Ruto did not offer a public apology during a national prayer event. But many Kenyan say a word are not enough. They want action. Just action for victims, compensation, and real policy change. Maybe it's about the legitimacy crisis. Political expert warns that the government's hesitation could make things much worse. They say the protests are not just about the one leader, they are about a system that felt broken. If the government continues to treat the movement as a threat instead of a message, the divide may grow much stronger. The things can worsen even more. Thank you so much for sticking with me in this video on XWZ. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and drop your thought in comment section down below. See you in the next documentary. Ciao ciao.